Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about today's video. I'm going to be doing a full face of drugstore, but also trying some brand new Wet n Wild products. I have a few of them here. I don't have all of their new products. Haven't been able to find them all yet, so they've been a little bit challenging to track down. So I'm going to be filling in anything I don't have Wet n Wild with some of my other drugstore products. Everything I'm using today will be under $10. But first, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy this style of video, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified of any future uploads. With that, grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's go do our makeup. Okay, so first up, let's talk about the new primer. This is the Wet n Wild Impossible Base Stick. They have a kind of like a tube version of this, and I really like this primer. This is one of my favorite drugstore primers. So I will say I have used this a couple of times, and so I think I know what my thoughts are on it right now, but I'm kind of liking this one a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this on one side of my face and I'm going to try this on the other and see if there's any difference in how it holds the skin tint on today. So they look pretty much the same. They're, you know, it looks to me like they were trying to put this in a stick version, because this is a little bit of a weird product, kind of like a powdery, thick product, but you have to be careful because it's kind of like a solid. It comes out like in a little powdery finish, like a little ball almost, and you have to be careful because it'll fall right off. It's like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, but it kind of dries down to a powdery finish. But I find this to be just a little bit hydrating. It glides on very nicely. You don't have to, you know, you don't really have to work too hard to get it to spread out. So again, I'm only going to put this on half of my face because we're going to try the stick on the other half. Like I said, I think this was supposed to be sort of a stick version, maybe an easier to apply version of this. I don't think they're the same. They don't feel the same to me. When they're on, I find this one again to be just a little bit hydrating. It does blur out your pores, but I would say this one does more of that. So we're gonna go in on the other side with this one. Again, it's just a little stick. I don't think that, there's a little bit of a scent, but not much. It smells different than this. This smells like coconut to me. So I'm going to go ahead and apply this to the other side. This is sort of cooling when you put it on, but it's like once it's on, there's nothing to blend out. It doesn't apply very much product, and maybe it doesn't need to. Now, I will say right off, this immediately blurs out your pores. You can tell this is on your skin when you look in the mirror, and I don't know that you're going to be able to see in the camera, but this blurs out your pores really well, so especially around the nose. So we'll see if there is any difference in how these hold on makeup. I will tell you, this does a really great job of holding my foundation in place. We're gonna see, that has dried down already. Like I said, the stick dries down immediately. That is on this side of my face. The other side is the tube version. Okay, now we're gonna jump into my favorite part. Let's jump into this skin tint. Okay, so this is the Bare Focus Niacinamide Skin Tint. This is what it looks like. It's got that same, you know, dropper kind of a applicator. I really, or dispenser. I really don't like these. It is messy. It reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal True Match Serum Foundation. This contains 5% niacinamide and hyaluronic acid. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and dip into this. I have used this a couple of times now, so I have an opinion, sort of, but I want to give it a couple of more tries before I really decide if I like it. So we will see here. I'm going to drop a little bit on the back of my hand just so you can see, and it's really hard to get. I'm gonna have to get a pump for this. But you can see it's just like that L'Oreal. It's maybe a little bit thinner. I got the shade, I think this is Fair Beige, I believe. Yes, Fair Beige. They had one shade lighter at the store. I felt like that might have been just a little too light, and this is a pretty good shade match for me. Since it is a skin tint, it's not, you know, I wasn't too worried about it. So let's go ahead, that's all of it. That's a couple of drops. I'm going to use the Believe Beauty foundation brush to blend this out. I did use my fingers. I did try it with using my fingers, but I think I like a brush best. So, okay, so here's what I will say about this. It does, the serum soaks into your skin and you're kind of left with that pigment on top, just like the L'Oreal. This is pretty sheer coverage, but you can build it up a little bit, which I'm going to do. It dries down to sort of a satiny finish. It's not dewy and it's not matte either. However, here's what I will say, and I can see now, I'm glad I did one primer on each side. This is the side with the original Impossible primer, and I have sort of a satiny like finish over there. This is the stick side, and it is definitely more matte. The last time I wore this though, I wore it just with the stick version, and throughout the day, as the oil in my skin started to come through, it started to look just a little bit more natural and less matte. So that is one layer, and you can see it's pretty sheer. So I'm going to go back in, and here's the thing: you do use a lot of. That's the only thing about these serum foundations, because I prefer at least a medium coverage. I end up using so much of the product, and I run out quickly. So I'm going to go back over this with another layer. Okay. All right. And this is where, you know, building it up, you can start to see a little bit of coverage here. It does cancel out some redness. I'm not going to take it up under my eyes. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Incognito Concealer for under my eyes. But this really does give sort of a nice, smooth, satiny finish. That is another layer of the skin tint, and again, this is still what I would call light coverage, and it has dried down quite a bit. I am noticing on the side, this is the side with the stick, that it still does look just a little bit more matte than the other side. This primer is more hydrating than the stick version. So here's what I noticed about this skin tint. I will talk a little bit about what it looked like throughout the day as I wore it. But right now, it is clinging just a bit to some texture right here in the center of my forehead, and right here, and then down along my chin area. So I would say I would not build this up too much. I have on 2 layers. I'm not going to do any more than that. I'm going to use concealer to kind of build up any coverage that I feel like I'm missing. But right now, this is still maybe a light to medium, low medium coverage. It does, I think, look a little bit better on this side, but that's just right now. This does settle in to your skin as it sits. Throughout the day, I did notice that as it settled down into my skin and, I get a little bit oily through my T-zone, it started to look a little bit better. It wasn't quite as heavy and dry looking. But this is, I will say overall, I did like the way this looked at the end of the day. It held up pretty well with that, with the stick primer. So I will say about this primer, because I've used it with a couple of foundations now, this does hold your makeup on pretty well. It just isn't as hydrating as I would like it to be right now. I think this is going to be a great summer primer. I will probably, I hope they're not discontinuing this, I will probably continue to buy this because I do think this is just a little bit more hydrating. So we will see. I will try to put a picture in later in full daylight. It's just a little cloudy today, so we will see if I can do that. So I'm gonna let that sit, and we'll see how it looks when I'm done with the rest of my makeup. I'm going to go in next with the Incognito Concealer. This is one of my favorite drugstore concealers. Very, very reliable concealer. Very full coverage. If you have not tried this, I love this. I'd recommend giving this a try. It is, it lasts all day. If I need a concealer to last me all day and I know it's not gonna move, then this is what I use. And this is not drying at all. I'm always afraid with drugstore concealers. Are they gonna be drying under my eyes? Are they going to settle into lines? This one does not. It doesn't move. I love this concealer. And there is the coverage. I mean, this eye is where I have a large, like a bluish vein that runs through under my eye, and it covers everything. And you can see how well that covered that. Just right off. Oh, and by the way, I do have the shade, I think this is Light Honey in this concealer. This is a pretty good shade match for me. Okay, so here's what it looks like with the skin tint and the concealer. So you can see it built it up a little bit more, but that's okay. I mean, you can still see my freckles through the skin tint, but it did even out redness. I do like it. It's definitely, I was afraid at first it was going to be too much like that Neutrogena skin tint that looks similar to this, the dropper style. I don't love that. It just doesn't cover enough. This one's got a little bit more coverage. So we'll see how this does through the day with each primer, and I will update maybe in the description box below which one did better. I'm going to lightly go in with a little bit of powder. This is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Clarifying Finishing Powder. This is pretty good. It's not my favorite, but it's good. It does the job. And very inexpensive, and I'm going to use as much Wet n Wild today as I have. And go over, and it does mattify, but that's okay because I am going to need it through the day. And I do feel like this has just the slightest amount of coverage. This is the shade Fairlight. And so yeah, it does give just a little bit of additional coverage, not a lot. All right, so there is that. We're gonna go in with the next new product. I got one of their 2 new shades of blush. This is the Color Icon blush. This is the shade Bed of Roses. This is the one I really felt like would look best on my skin tone, although I do really want to try that brown shade because it just looks beautiful, and everybody I've seen try it But I've never tried a Wet n Wild Color Icon blush. These are so buttery. I could not believe how soft the formula was on these. It feels like you're touching a cream. This is Bed of Roses. Again, just a really nice, kind of a bright peachy pink. So I'm going to go in with this. I do not have a bronzer from Wet n Wild, so I'm just going to use this for today. I'm only, I'm not, just going to the grocery store. So we're not too worried about everything being perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go in with this. And it just, oh, it's so pretty. It just blends out so smooth. Okay, that's a little bright. Well, you can see it's a little bit brighter in my mirror than it is on camera. But I did notice when I used this the other day, it sort of settled down through the day. It looked a little brighter when I first put it on, but it did last all day. Didn't go anywhere. I just find that, I don't know if it's from touching my face. I don't know what it is. I try not to touch my face, but I don't know. A blush and bronzer end up sort of lightening up through the day on me. But it's this really pretty, almost like a coral shade. I like to bring it up under my eyes, just a little bit, my nose, just to look like I've gotten a little bit of sun, especially in the winter. But so pretty. Love this formula. I could not believe how soft it was. I'd never used one. I just wasn't expecting that. So I don't know if they're all like that or if it's a new formula, but I do like this shade. I may go back and get another shade or two of this blush. So really, really pretty. I would like to try the brownish shade because I like blushes that also look like both, that look like a bronzer and a blush. That's why I love this Bare Minerals bronzer so much. This is Kiss of Pink, but this kind of looks like a bronzer blush combo. So anyway, very, very pretty. I like this. I will be using this more. Okay, so we are going to go into eyeshadow now. I did prime already because I wanted it to sit for a while with the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I don't know that they make this exact primer anymore. It's called something different, but the packaging looks similar. I don't know. This is a great primer. I've been using this for years. I love it. It never lets me down. My eyeshadow lasts no matter what kind of eyeshadow it is. I love it. So I am going to, let's see. I'm going to use just a little bit of powder over top of that before I go in with shadow. Okay, and I'm going to use the Marilyn Monroe 5-pan palette. This came with a little brush that I don't use. This was a little bit on the pricey side. It was $10. Again, it did come with a brush, but it's not a fluffy one. It's not going to work for all the shades. But this is really good. It's really, really nice. It has a lot of pigment. It's their classic 5-pan palette. This is very neutral, which is what I love. These brown shades. I love this shimmer shade right here. This is great for an inner corner highlight. So love this. I'm just going to do a quick eye look with this. And we will be just about done. I do not have a I don't have a mascara from Wet n Wild, so I'm going to use probably maybe the Believe Beauty or e.l.f. I don't know. I'll use one of those to keep it drugstore and finish the look. So I'm going to go in with just this shade right here, neutral, maybe like more of a warm tone, beige, and put that in my crease. These are so pigmented. I think this is my favorite of the 5-pan palettes they have. I love this. The quality of this one is just really, really good. Okay, there is that shade. I'm going to go in with a slightly less fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into that shade next to it in the middle here. It's like a neutral brown, but a little bit deeper. I'm just going to build up that crease just a little bit more. Okay, just build that crease up just a little bit. I'm going to go in with this, with my finger, with this goldish shimmer, and this is a nice soft shimmer. It's not too glittery. It's got a little bit of glitter, but not enough that it annoys me. I don't like glitter. I like a nice soft shimmer. I love Wet n Wild shimmer shades. This one's just so pretty. It's nice and light. This is an easy look. This does not take a lot of time at all. I do this before work sometimes because it's just, this is one of my go-to looks with these browns and golds. Okay, now I'm going to go in with a pointy, contoured kind of brush and into this deep brown here, and I'm going to just put a little bit on my outer third because I want to just define the eye just a little bit more. Just deepen that up just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then I'll be able to use all 5 shades. Okay. All right, and then let's go in here to this highlighter shade and just highlight that inner corner just a little bit. Okay. And that's it. So easy. I love these. I love Wet n Wild. This is a good one. This is a good one. I think they still sell this on their website. I thought it was limited edition. It probably is, but go grab this. This is well worth it. It's a little bit more expensive, probably because it comes with a brush and it's limited edition, but I do really, really like this. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my typical Color Icon eyeliner pencil. This is in the shade Simma Brown Now. I'm gonna just go under my eyes very gently. I love this pencil. It's so easy to use. I can almost... Okay, just to define the eyes just a little bit more. I'm going to leave it at that. The skin tint is still looking pretty matte right now. It's only been a few minutes, but it's looking very, very matte, which is okay. It's maybe a little bit of that powder I put over it, but we'll see how this looks through the day. I will update on that for sure. And I'm very curious how these 2 primers perform differently with the same skin tint. Okay, let's go in with the Believe Beauty mascara. I have not found a Wet n Wild mascara I like yet. If you have one that you like, let me know below, because I've only tried a couple, but I haven't liked any of them. Pretty picky about mascara. I do like this one. It's not good for your lower lashes. It will smudge, but it's a nice volumizing and lengthening formula. I made a mess of this mascara. It's a little bit of a wet formula. It's okay, but once it dries down. Okay, and by the way, this is the Extended Lash Lengthening Mascara by Believe Beauty. Okay, so for lips, I just went in with a little bit of the Wet n Wild Rose lip color, comforting lip color. I have a couple of shades of these. They twist up, and the product comes out. You just need a little bit. It is so, so hydrating. This is the shade Soft and Juicy. I also have Taffy Daddy. These are beautiful. They're $4 and change, maybe $5. They're well worth it. They perform like high-end. I have a couple of these similar products, like the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. Very similar to that. So performs very nicely. Hydrating, stays on. I also love these Wet n Wild Mega Slicks. If you have never tried these, they're beautiful. They are so inexpensive. I think I paid between $1 and $2 for this. This is a peachy pink shade. It doesn't have a shade listed. Does a little bit of a, I don't know what it is, a scent. Reminds me of something from when I was a kid. But anyway, just really, really high quality gloss. I use this over lipstick. I use it by itself. Really, really nice. So I recommend checking these out as well. Okay, so that is everything. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will post an update about how these two primers did, which one I liked better, if they performed about the same. We will see. They're both looking pretty similar right now, honestly, now that it's been sitting and I powdered a little bit. So, all right, thank you again so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving a thumbs up and joining me here on my channel. And I hope that you make it a great day. Bye.